Okay, so it's a little bit hard to describe the belt tension, so I figured I would just demonstrate. This is kind of what I got going on right now. That's pretty snug. Find a good angle here for light. You see, got fans blowing on the motors because I thought maybe that was going to be making them too hot. Thought maybe there was a chance of overheating back here, so I've got the case open and I've got some fans temporarily blowing on the parts. Chips in the boards are reading around 90-ish degrees, which is comparable if not lower to my i3, which has been working pretty successfully. Now the interesting thing is, if I move the axes through the controls on the front panel, it seems to work pretty well. Let me auto home it. See, everything's flowing fine. It seems like it's only when there's rapid back and forth, like when it's trying to do a curve or something, that it gets a little bit unpleasant. So let's play around with that a little bit, just so you can see what's going on. Maybe it might be a little bit easier that way. Let me get Z out of the way. Move Y. You can hear the clicking, so it's not... It's definitely having problems somewhere. Belt tensioners. I mean, I don't seem to be hitting anything. And when I took it all apart, the linear rails are smooth as can be when there's nothing on them. If I take the whole X-assembly off, both of them slides nice as could be. I noticed that no matter what I do, it doesn't seem perfectly square. I measured this distance with my calipers, so I know that the end here and the end here are exactly the same. I usually end up, no matter how many times I square it, with the left and the right sides being slightly off from each other. So bear with my awful video making skills as I nudge Y forward. Alright, so you can see the front of the rail is basically right at the edge of that hole. And over here on this side, it's slightly overlapping the hole. Now, I have squared this up so many times, and it always keeps coming back. So my theory is that this thing is drifting out of square somehow, and that's why it's binding up. I just don't know why it's drifting out of square. One of the motors going at a slightly different time, and I don't know if there's a possibility of a wiring problem. It's nothing super complicated here. I did it, right by the book according to the build guide. These connectors, and it goes in. Like I said, I've swapped out the stepper driver with the extra one that was for extruder 1. That didn't do anything. About the only thing I haven't tried yet is replacing the stepper motors. I was considering swapping the Z motors with the Y motors to see if that makes any difference. I mean, at this point, I'm not even really able to get the raft to print, never mind any further. I don't know if maybe these belts are too tight. That seems unlikely. The clicking definitely seems related to me, but I don't really know how or why. Do you think there's any chance maybe one of the motors is spinning at a slightly different rate somehow, or one of the motors has some kind of problem with it? Any ideas you have would be awesome. Thanks.